Let's have a frank discussion about optimizing your health as a woman and how you can optimize the enjoyment in this very process. We'll return to that notion in just a moment, but first, I want to bring you some relevant data from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, which reported in late 2025. Through a study of more than 6,000 women between the ages of 40 and 59, it revealed that segment of our population exercised at least 5 times a week compared to only 19% of women in their 20s. Meanwhile, the CDC also says as women enter their 30s and 40s, their goals from a fitness perspective have shifting priorities. Their goals shift from aesthetic in favor of long-term health goals such as maintaining muscle, strength, retaining muscle mass, and managing menopausal symptoms. This is all good news for my friend Melanie Levy. She's a personal trainer and the founder of Melanie Levy Fitness. And she's also the creator of the EmpowHER Method, which is a program designed for women over 30 to build strength, confidence, and community. Levy believes that aging for women doesn't mean that they have to accept getting slower, weaker. She believes that women can become the strongest version of themselves through discipline, community, and viewing fitness as something that you enjoy doing and going to the gym as part of your routine, which you do to optimize every aspect of your life. And Levy joined me this week to tell me more about the importance of building a fitness community of like-minded women, creating great fitness habits, and the mutual benefits of respect and fitness ingenuity that comes through consistency of habits, and what goes into assisting women to optimize the best versions of themselves from a fitness and life perspective. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. I started my conversation with Levy by asking her her opinion on why women should make their overall health a top priority.
Oh, why they should? Yeah, that's a great question. You know, the science tells us that when you turn 30, you start losing muscle mass. And if you think about how muscle supports bone, women also have a decrease in bone density. So it becomes so important that we're doing some sort of resistance training so we can build that muscle because we're losing it. So we need to be building it to also support bone density. So for our health, for our wellness as we age to prevent injury, those are big reasons why women over 30 should be strength training.
Yeah, absolutely. And Melanie, I'm sure you know, February is Go Red for Women's Month, my friend, in support of women's heart health, my friend. So tell me your perspective on why valuing your fitness is good for your heart health as well, my friend. Tell me your thoughts there.
Yeah, I mean, some sort of exercise or movement is really important for heart health. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a lot. I tell people all the time, you could dance in your kitchen, you could go for a walk with your dog, you could, while you're doing dishes, do a few squats between every plate you wash. Just being active. There is some studies, and I don't know the exact numbers for this, but heart health and heart disease is the number one killer. So we need to have a healthy heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know that you are the owner of Melanie Levy Fitness, my friend, and the creator of the Empower Her Method, which is a fitness program designed for women over 30 to build and strengthen their muscles while also building their own sense of community. So tell me what makes you so fabulous, my friend.
I agree. It is fabulous. Creating a safe space for women to learn how to strength train. A lot of women haven't been in this space before. They go to a gym and they feel really intimidated. So, having created the Empower Method to bring women together as a group, to support each other, to hype each other up, to really learn and be educated on how this all works, and not just like what the exercises are, but like why we're doing them and how that can help them in their normal day-to-day life. So these movements and these exercises we're doing have a purpose. There is intention behind everything we do, and we do all this in a community. So the woman you're working out next to might have similar goals or similar lifestyle as you, and you have this built-in support system, which is really fabulous, like you said.
Absolutely. And but I'm also curious to ask you about what we talked about earlier about why women don't tend to value their health more than men. Why do you think there's a discrepancy there, if any at all, my friend? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think that the fitness industry has always been circled around men. And also, there's been very few studies in women's health. So a lot of the studies that you read about building muscle and heart disease, for example, these studies that have been done for years and years and years are all based on studies on men. So there's not a lot of evidence and studies for women. And so for that reason, it's always been more focused on men. And also, I think women go to a gym and they feel like they don't know what they're supposed to do. They feel like they don't, no one's ever taught them how to do a squat or how to use this machine or this machine. And that can be really intimidating, walking into a room full of men who've always been taught that this is their thing, that they're allowed to do this, and women don't feel like they have a space to do that. So less women work out. But there are some new, I think I read a statistic that there are currently more women strength training than men right now.
Well, that's a sign of progress, isn't it?
Love it.
Absolutely. And to that point, Melanie, you said that aging for women doesn't mean that they have to get weaker, that they can be their own strongest and most competent version of themselves if they value their fitness, my friend. So tell me, why do you believe that, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I think women don't know that it's possible to be their strongest self. I think as we age, we think, oh, I'm getting older. Oh, my back hurts. It's just because I'm old. Or I have bad knees, but it's because I'm old. And you don't have to follow that storyline. That doesn't have to be your story. And I consider myself proof. I will be 50 this year, and I am the strongest I have ever been in my entire life.
Well, my friend, I have to tell you, you look fabulous for almost being 50, my friend.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And my friend, tell me, I know that your fitness journey has its own unique story. So tell me how you got started in fitness and why it's so important to you.
Yeah, I love that question and I love to share this story. So, uh, I actually was in sales. So, I worked in technology, in IT, in ticket sales. Like, I never really thought that I could work in fitness, although I was always into fitness. I was always someone that went to the gym. And it wasn't until someone had invited me to, like, hey, did you know that, like, you're good at sales, you could sell in a gym? And I was like, I can work in a gym and use my skills as a salesperson? Like, yes. So I had started working in the gym industry in a sales role, and what happened was I felt the need to be more connected to the people that were working out. And in order for me to do that, I decided to become a personal trainer, because that would keep me in the industry, but have a closer connection to the people, to their experience, and most of all to their results, to really like changing lives. And so I became a personal trainer in 2018. And it really changed everything for me to be able to step into a role where I can really change people's lives and lift them up and remind people every day, like, hey, like, you can do this. This is possible. I think so many people don't think it's possible, or they've failed in the past and they feel like they're going to fail again. And I want to be that person that lifts them up. I want to be that trainer that's like, you can do this.
Yeah, absolutely. And Melanie, tell me, why is it important for you to train women over 30? And you say it's also important that we view fitness as something to look forward to rather than something to dread. And I know your entire business model is about building community, my friend. So tell me, why is it important for you to train women specifically over 30, and the importance of building community and viewing working out as something we look forward to? What are your thoughts there, my friend?
Mhm. So, and I'm not saying women in their 20s don't have the same goals. They might, but in my experience, once we get into our 30s, our goals change from physique goals or wanting to just lose 10 pounds for an upcoming vacation to more longevity. Women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s want to be able to create a fitness program that is sustainable. Women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s want to know that when they're 80 and 90 years old, that they can still move around, that they can still be mobile, and they can still do all the things that they want to do. So what I found is training women over 30, these women have different goals than we did in our 20s. They want to find a routine that they can do for the rest of their life, something that is sustainable forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, absolutely. And Melanie, I know that you have a message for women who want to feel at home in their own bodies, my friend. So, what's the first key to feeling at home in your own body for women in your perspective, my friend?
Yeah, I like that. Feeling at home in your own body mean to me, and how I share it with my clients, is that you can show up however you are, to the gym. There are times when you're gonna show up and you're gonna have had a really stressful day at work, right? Like, we all have really stressful days at work. Or maybe we didn't sleep good the night before, or maybe we're feeling fantastic and we want to just like exert all of the possible energy that we have. So it's all about showing up as you are in the body that you're in, and doing your workout and moving your body and exercising and feeling good no matter how you show up.
Yeah, absolutely. And Melanie, full disclosure. So I was born with spastic quadriplegia cerebral palsy. So working out is very important to me because if I don't use my muscles, they contract faster than most people, and I lose muscular strength, my friend. And I know for you, one of the big things that you help women with is their functional movement and their mindset towards gratitude. So I'm wondering, how do you help women through that sort of psychological shift? And what are some of the success stories that you can tell me about once women understand, how their bodies work and the importance of their fitness? Tell me about that aha moment, my friend. What do you have to say there, my friend?
I believe that we all need to approach this with a beginner's mindset. So we might have had an experience before, or we know somebody that had an experience, and we need to approach this like it's something we've never done before. And instead of being intimidated or scared, be curious. Be curious about what you're capable of doing. And as far as a story around mindset, I have a client who I won't say her name just to keep her private, but she comes to mind because when I first talked to her before we started working together, she was really not feeling confident about being able to do this. And she was kind of on the fence. She's like, I don't know that I'm ready to make all these changes. And I basically said like, hey, like you need to decide the person you want to be, and then you need to take little small actions to move you towards that goal, to move you towards being that person. So what she realized was she didn't need to make all these big changes all at once, that she could take tiny little steps and build small habits that compound over the course of time. And now she went from the person that when she first came to the gym, she was very timid, she was very shy, she didn't really look up, to this girl walks in and she's like, what are we doing today? Like, what exercise are we doing? I'm feeling great, and so to see that confidence shift from, not expecting it to happen overnight, but over the course of time, to build those small habits, excuse me, that compound over time, and to see someone's mindset shift to, I'm not sure if I can do this, to, I see this starting to happen for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, I'm curious for you. How do you think accountability and building good habits are interconnected?
I think accountability is really important. I think our ego will tell us that, well, I can do this. I don't need help. And I'm speaking about myself right now. I can do this on my own. I don't need any help. But when you have that accountability, when you have that support, it really makes a difference. And I'm speaking for myself. I have two coaches right now who are helping me with accountability, both in exercise and with nutrition. And accountability is huge. So I encourage people all the time, like, don't be afraid to ask for help and ask for an accountability buddy. It can be a coach, but it could also be a family member or a good friend, or it could just be somebody on the internet that you don't even really know. And maybe they're doing something similar as you. It's like, hey, can we be accountability buddies? And that can be really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, Melanie, you work with a lot of women with kids and husbands and all of the things, and who have high pressure jobs. So I'm wondering your conversations with women about the importance of prioritizing themselves as a commodity, because oftentimes women put everyone else but themselves first. So tell me about the conversations that you have with women to really maximize the importance of their own personal selves, my friend. What are your thoughts there?
I have lots of conversations like that, Kevin. You nailed it. These conversations happen all the time. And the question that I ask is, if you start putting yourself first, what changes? And that's the question. Because what happens when we put ourselves first is a lot of things change. And that can be personal based on that woman's experience or men's experience. But really asking yourself, if I put myself first, if I prioritize myself, what changes in my work experience, what changes in my relationship, what changes with my kids, what changes with my job. And if you really sit and think about that, there are a lot of things that shift when we start putting ourselves first.
Yeah, absolutely. And, part of that, as we've been talking about, is mindset, right? So I'm curious, how do you help women shift their mindset when it comes to achieving their goals and letting them know that their goals are important? And what sort of mindset do you think is important to make that a priority, my friend? What are your thoughts there?
I think that's a great question. I think mindset is number one. I think mindset is key to all of your success, no matter what you're doing. Um, Asking yourself, another good question to ask yourself is, well, I want to start working out. I'm just going to use this as an example. I want to work out. Why do you want to work out? Well, I want to work out because I want to get strong. Well, why do you want to get strong? Well, I want to get strong because because I don't want to get hurt. I want to be strong as I age. Well, why is it important for you to get strong as you age? And the you start peeling back these layers, right? It's like an onion. You
Mhm.
start peeling back these layers until you find out the why. What is your why? And once you find out what your why is, and that can be really deep in there, once you pull that out, then it's I don't want to say it's easy. None of this is easy, but that's when things start happening. That's when things start moving, because now we have a reason. Now we have a reason. Now we have our why as to why we're doing this, and that's what keeps us going.
Yeah, absolutely. And Melanie, I'm a big believer in there's strength through being vulnerable or vulnerability. So talk to me about breaking down the walls of acceptance for women, particularly when you first start working with them and building that psychological trust. How important is that in the work that you do, my friend?
It's really important, and it's very personal. So everybody's different, and some people take longer to start feeling comfortable and feeling confident, and that's okay, because we're all different humans, and we all have different experiences. So some people, it takes them a lot longer to get there, and that's okay. Like I said before, when we were talking about um, habits. And I was talking about that client who started creating these small habits that compound over time. As long as we're moving the needle in that direction, it doesn't matter how slow or fast we go, as long as we're moving forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And my friend, I wanted your thoughts on the keys to building a great or perfect fitness program, and why don't you think that people stick to their gym routines, my friend? Because there are a lot of people. I know we just started the year about 2 months ago now. There are a lot of people that make a New Year's resolutions, but they don't stick to them when it comes to weight and exercise and nutrition. So I'm curious, what's the key to building a great fitness program, and why don't you think people stay committed to the gym, my friend? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, that's a great question, Kevin. The key to a great program is results. And if and you ask, like, why don't people stick to their gym routine, it's usually because they're not seeing results. So they don't have a program that's giving them results, but they're also not consistent. Consistency breeds results. If you go to the gym once a week, it's going to take you a really long time to get to your goals. If you go to the gym 3 times a week, you're going to get there faster. If you have a good program for those days of the week that you're going to see the results. When people go to the gym and they do random workouts, random exercises, and then maybe they skip some days and they forget, or they get caught up in something else, and they're not consistent with their routine, they don't see results and they give up. And it happens over and over and over and over and over again. So a good program is going to give them results. It's going to be progressive overload if we're talking about strength training or we're building endurance. Depends on what their goals are. But really, at the end of the day, we want to see change. We want to see results. And when we don't see that, that's when people quit and they stop going to the gym.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, I'm curious to get your thoughts on this report from the New York Times from last year that reported that over 400,000 Americans and only 33% of women and men report that they don't exercise because they exercise because they actually enjoy it. So 33% of women say that they exercise because they actually enjoy it, my friends. So what do you think we need to do to get more women excited about exercising as an overall part of their life routine and habits, my friend? What are your thoughts there?
I don't have a lot of thoughts. I can say one word, or I guess it would be 3 words, and that's find your community. Find your community. Find a group of people or a friend or someone that you've met online that can be in this journey with you. A community is so important on this journey. A lot of people that are gym rats, like myself, I don't need, I just do it, right? But I'm different. And I'm probably in that small percent of people that don't have trouble sticking with the routine and going to the gym. But for the other percentage of people that struggle with that, find your community.
Yeah, and to that point, the Centers for Disease Control reported last year rather, that only 17 to 23% of American women over the age of 30 meet the federal guidelines for both aerobic and muscular strengthening activity, my friend. And only about 25% of those people would consider themselves to be in great or peak physical strength, my friend. So I'm wondering your thoughts on those findings and statistics and how we can help women understand the importance of optimizing the quality of their health, my friend. What are your thoughts there?
Hmm. Wow, that's a tough one. And I know those statistics, and I'm familiar with those statistics. Um, and I'm happy for the small percentage of people who fall into that zone of athletic and in great physical peak shape. Again, it comes down to being ready. One, got to be ready for this, and two, I talked about this earlier, and that's understanding or figuring out your why. Right? If we can dig really deep into that, then I think more people would know why it's important for them specifically to be more active.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Melanie, I'm also curious to ask you. You and I are natural self-starters, but I'm curious, what do you think it'll take for women to create that internal motivation to get after their health and create or lead healthier lifestyles? What are your thoughts there, my friend?
I tell people all the time motivation is fleeting, and we can't rely on motivation to get us to the gym. We need discipline, and discipline is doing something when you don't really want to do it, but also keeping in mind, especially when it comes to fitness or going to the gym or being active, I want people to think about how they will feel afterwards. Because 9 out of 10 times before you go to the gym, you're like, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to work out. And I'm sure you experienced this yourself. But instead of thinking, ugh, I don't want to go, think about, okay, I don't really want to feel like going, but I know how fantastic I'm going to feel afterwards. And
Yeah,
so that's so discipline becomes a big piece of it, because again, we can't rely on motivation is fleeting, it's not always going to be there. It's all about discipline. It's about doing something when you don't really want to do it and doing it anyways, and making it something that's like what's something you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you just brush your teeth. You probably don't even, I mean, hopefully you brush your teeth, but you probably don't even really think about it. You just, like, it's part of your morning routine. Splash some water in your face, brush your teeth, make your coffee. These things are just things you do. And so with enough practice and routine and consistency and discipline, the gym or whatever exercise modality you're doing, whether it's Pilates or walking your dog or just being active, can become one of these disciplines. That isn't something that feels so daunting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got two questions left for you. And the first of those two questions is this, I also believe building community and working out and finding a group of people to work out with and hold yourself accountable can also help with, social isolation and making sure that people aren't socially isolated. And I'm wondering your thoughts on how working out and a better health can also help with building our social confidence in other parts of our lives and not making us feel so socially isolated. What are your thoughts there, my friend?
Yeah, it comes down to, again, that find your community. I think when it helps when you find other people that you feel more understood, you feel heard. Or maybe it's just getting a coach and feeling seen and feeling heard. And also being reminded that it's possible. I think it can be socially isolating to do a lot of things on our own. And when we find a community or have a friend or a family member that's maybe they're not even like coaching or guiding us, but supporting us and putting us in positions, or putting yourself in a position to start doing the thing, and then start building confidence there. And then that confidence just expands into everything, not just in the gym, but like at work, in your relationships. I see this all the time with my community, where someone just starts a program and they come in with lack of confidence, and 3-4 months later they're like a different person. And now they're now they have a gratitude practice that they're sharing with their coworkers that started in the gym, and again, it's expanding out into their world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to end on this two-part question. Melanie, I have an identical twin brother, and Keith always tells me that from a nutrition standpoint, our bodies are our temples, my friend, and we really have to watch what we consume if we want to really value our body as sort of this temple of excellence, I guess. So I'm curious from a nutrition standpoint, how do you help women maximize their nutrition? And then lastly, I'm curious about your own personal and professional legacy, my friend, and how you want that to be defined.
Wow. So to be honest with you, the nutrition conversation could be a whole new other podcast.
Sure.
I I don't have a nutrition certification, so I'm not certified to teach nutrition. But I have a lot of experience with food and what to eat. Oh, it's my dog. Sorry.
No problem.
And so I think for a client who's just trying to, again, it comes down to consistency, what we're eating, and it depends on their goals. Me personally, I'm vegan, so I sorry, I'm vegan, so I will always encourage a vegan lifestyle, a plant-based lifestyle. It's healthier, it's more ethical, but again, that's a whole nother podcast that I'm happy to do. And so as far as like how I teach clients, it's personal. It depends on what their goals are. Do you want to lose weight? Are you looking to gain weight? Do you not care about losing weight and just want to get strong? So it's a very vast conversation. I like that your twin brother shares with you the information that he does. I think that's great. Your body is a temple. Hell yes, it is. As far as my legacy, my gosh, I saw that question come through before we got on this call, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to answer this. I think I just I want to help people. I want to be known as somebody that, has their heart in the game. That it's not about money and success and all that. To me, success is about leading with love and truly wanting to help people with my heart. And I think any coach can teach you how to do a deadlift or a squat, but like, can you be the type of coach that truly changes lives, that changes someone's experience with fitness, that helps somebody build this confidence that they've never experienced before? That coach is special. That's the person I want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And Melanie, tell me if people want to get connected with you, what's the best way they can do that, my friend?
Best way to do that is going to be on my website. So my website is www.melanielevyfitness.com. I'm sure you'll have that in the show notes. And there is a button that says book a call. There's a few buttons actually where you would be able to schedule a discovery call with me. You can also find me and lots of information about who I am as a coach and a person by visiting my Instagram. And my Instagram is at Melanie Levy Fitness.
Well, fabulous, my friend. As someone who values and optimizes their fitness on a daily basis, I really enjoyed this conversation, my friend, and I want to thank you for making our society of women a more healthier community, and I want to thank you for engaging in conversation with me this afternoon. It's most appreciated.
I really appreciate you too, Kevin. And these were great questions and a wonderful conversation, very insightful. Coming out of this, just feeling really inspired.